You're watching Dukascopy TV with me, Alex Isat. Joining me today from London is Simon Baptist from the Economist Intelligence Unit. Hello, Simon. The Reserve Bank of Australia has released its minutes from its July 1st meeting, and many were sure there was going to be a rate cut. However, the cash rate has remained unchanged and interest rates are staying low. What effect will this have on the economy?
The Australian economy is facing a number of conflicting forces at the moment. Inflation has been quite moderate so far this year, suggesting that there's little pressure to raise interest rates. At the same time, there is still some slack in the non-mining parts of the economy. On the other hand, growth is accelerating as mining exports increase, and there are some worries about an asset bubble in the housing market, and so that's where there's the pressure for the rate increases. And the RBA has been playing these off by balancing and not making any big moves over recent months. However, they have said that their bias is now to increase interest rates, and that's when what their next move will be. We don't think it will happen this year. The EIU, we think it will probably come early in 2015.
Critics are suggesting the bank is uncertain about the real mining issues and doesn't have a hold on the housing market. Do you think they are out of touch?
I don't think the RBA are at all out of touch. I think economic policy from the government has been much more out of touch in relation to those two issues. The issues, I think, in the mining sector are around enabling the profits from that sector to spread across the economy and to offset some of the Dutch disease and cost increases that the mining boom is imposing on the non-mining sector. And really what Australia should be doing is having a mining tax to redistribute some of those profits rather than just abolishing it, as has just happened. And likewise on the housing sector, the real driver of unsustainable movements in Australian house prices, negative gearing, which is really unique around the world in giving a income tax deduction for buy-to-let properties. So those are the key policy drivers that are causing the imbalances in those markets. And in fact, the RBA recently put out a report on the housing market where it quite elegantly played off the decision between renting and buying, and did show at the moment that house prices in Australia are at the level that for many people renting is the better financial option. So I think they're aware of the issues, but the government unfortunately doesn't have the guts to do what's necessary.
Do you believe the labour market is likely to soften before it fully recovers?
I think that the labour market is pretty strong in Australia at the moment. Compared to recent experience, the level of job creation has been reasonable. There's currently a transition as investment in the mining sector is falling, so that's a lower level of construction. Exports are increasing, which are not always as labour intensive, and so there is a redeployment of labour from working in projects related to mining investment into other sectors of the economy. That transition will cause some dislocation. There'll be some short-term unemployment and some long-term unemployment for people who are unable to reskill. But I don't see the labour market as posing a big threat to the Australian economy over the next 12 months.
Finally, could the inflation figures released next week go against the RBA's positive outlook?
I think inflation is likely to remain low. At the EIU, we think that the quarter-on-quarter movement in inflation will only be 0.4%, so year-on-year terms staying at 2.9% as it was in the first quarter. Global commodity prices are not really providing any large inflationary spikes at the moment. Many commodity prices are falling, so that's taking one element of push out of the market. So I think inflation is pretty benign globally, and I don't see any reason for Australia to buck that trend.
Thank you for your time, Simon. Economists are sure to keep a close eye on the Aussie dollar over the next week, ahead of the figures. Make sure you check back with Dukascopy TV to see how the market changes. Goodbye.